And the Little Fish. Welcome to the story of the fisherman and the little fish. This is a tale about kindness, choices, and the value of small opportunities. It's perfect for learning English with simple sentences and an important message. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our video on the fisherman and the little fish story. Today, we will learn about a fisherman and a small, magical fish. This story teaches us an important lesson about kindness, decision-making, and the value of small opportunities. This story shows us that sometimes, even the smallest actions can lead to big lessons, and how important it is to make thoughtful choices. So, are you ready to learn the full story of the fisherman and the little fish? Let's watch together. Chapter 1. The Life of a Fisherman. Jack, a kind fisherman, lived in a small village by the sea. The village was peaceful, with colorful boats floating on the water and seagulls calling in the distance. Jack loved his simple life, where he worked hard and cared for his family. Every day, Jack went out to the sea to catch fish. It was how he provided food for his family and earned money to buy other things they needed. Jack enjoyed his work and respected the sea, which gave him so much. Each morning, Jack woke up early. The sky was still dark and the village was quiet. Jack packed his fishing net and a small wooden bucket. He kissed his wife, Mary, goodbye and waved to his children, Lily and Tom, who were still sleepy but always smiled at him. Jack walked to the beach, where his small boat waited for him. The boat was old but strong, painted blue and white, and it had helped him catch fish for many years. Jack rowed his boat into the calm waters. He loved the sea. It was peaceful, with waves gently rocking his boat. The cool breeze touched his face, and he felt happy and free. As he worked, Jack thought about his family. He knew they were waiting for him to return with fish for dinner. He always hoped to catch enough to sell a few extra fish at the market. Jack threw his net into the water and waited patiently. After some time, he pulled it back up. It was heavy, and Jack smiled, thinking he had caught many fish. But as he looked closely, he saw only one fish in the net. The fish was tiny, so small it could fit in the palm of his hand. It was golden in color and shone brightly in the sunlight. Jack stared at it, surprised by how beautiful it was. To Jack's amazement, the tiny fish began to speak. "Please, kind fisherman, let me go," said the little fish in a soft voice. "I am too small to eat. If you let me live, I will grow bigger, and one day, I might be able to help you." Jack was shocked. He had never heard a fish speak before. He thought for a moment. The fish was right, it was too small to keep. Jack was also a kind man who believed in helping others. "All right, little fish," Jack said with a smile. "I will let you go. Be careful and grow strong." Jack gently put the little fish back into the water. The fish swam away quickly, but turned back for a moment. "Thank you, kind fisherman," it said. "I will not forget your kindness. Someday I will help you in return." Jack laughed softly. "We'll see about that," he said, and then he went back to fishing. At the end of the day, Jack returned home. He had caught a few fish, enough for his family to eat and sell at the market. Mary cooked a delicious meal, and they all sat together, laughing and talking. Jack told his family about the tiny, golden fish that could talk. Lily and Tom's eyes grew wide with excitement. "Do you think it will come back?" Tom asked. Jack smiled. "Who knows? But it was a special moment, and I am glad I let it go." Jack didn't know it yet, but the little fish would change his life in ways he could never imagine. This was just the beginning of an extraordinary adventure for the kind fisherman and the tiny fish. Chapter 2. A New Day Begins. The sun rose slowly over the calm sea, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and pink. Jack, the fisherman, prepared for another day of fishing. The air was fresh and the sound of the waves was peaceful. Jack picked up his fishing net, a small basket, and a bottle of water. "Today will be a good day," he thought as he walked to the beach. Mary, his wife, waved goodbye from the window, and their children, Lily and Tom, smiled sleepily as they watched him leave. Jack pushed his small wooden boat into the water. The sea was calm and the sky was clear. He enjoyed moments like these when everything felt quiet and peaceful. As he rode into the open water, Jack thought about his family. He hoped to catch enough fish to sell at the market and buy something special for them. After finding a good spot, Jack stopped rowing. He cast his fishing net into the water and waited. The sea sparkled under the sunlight and seagulls flew above, calling to one another. Fishing required patience, and Jack was used to waiting. He watched the waves and thought about the tiny golden fish he had caught the day before. He wondered if he would see it again. Suddenly, Jack felt a tug on his net. He pulled it up, hoping for a big catch. But when he looked inside, he saw only one small fish. At first, Jack felt disappointed. "This is all I've caught today," he said to himself. But then he noticed something familiar about the fish. The small fish wriggled in the net, and to Jack's amazement, it began to speak. "Hello again, Fisherman," said the fish in a soft, magical voice. Jack stared in surprise. "It's you, the little golden fish," he exclaimed. "Yes, it's me," the fish replied. "You were kind to me before, and I haven't forgotten. Today, I want to help you." Jack listened carefully as the fish continued. "If you let me go again, I will grant you a wish. You can ask for anything you need." Jack thought for a moment. He didn't want to be greedy, but he knew his family could use a little extra help. "I wish for enough fish to feed my family and sell at the market," he said. The golden fish nodded. "Your wish will come true. Cast your net one more time, and you will see." Jack released the golden fish back into the water and cast his net again. This time, when he pulled it up, the net was full of fish. Jack couldn't believe his eyes. "Thank you, little fish," he called out. But the golden fish had already disappeared into the sparkling waves. Jack rowed back to shore, his boat heavy with the day's catch. As he reached the beach, other fishermen gathered around, amazed by the number of fish Jack had caught. "How did you catch so many fish today, Jack?" one of them asked. Jack smiled, but kept the golden fish a secret. "It's just a lucky day," he said. When Jack arrived home, his family was overjoyed. Mary clapped her hands in delight. "This is more than enough for us," she said. Lily and Tom helped Jack sort the fish into baskets. "Now we can buy new shoes," Lily said, "and sweets," Tom added with a big grin. That evening, as the family sat down to eat, Jack told them about the golden fish and its magical wish. "It's important to be kind and grateful," he said. "The little fish reminded me of that." Mary smiled and said, "Kindness always comes back to us in wonderful ways." As the sun set over the village, Jack looked out at the sea. He felt thankful for the golden fish and the lesson it had taught him. The day ended with laughter and love, and Jack knew that the little fish had brought more than just a good catch. It had brought happiness to his family. Chapter 3. The Little Fish's Plea. Early one morning, Jack, the kind fisherman, went out to sea as usual. He cast his net into the calm water and waited. After some time, he felt a small tug on his net. He pulled it up, expecting a few small fish. To his surprise, there was only one tiny fish caught in the net. It was no ordinary fish. It shone like gold under the sunlight. Jack looked closely, amazed by its shimmering scales. Suddenly, the little fish spoke. "Please, kind fisherman, let me go," it said in a soft, magical voice. Jack stared at the fish in shock. "A talking fish? I must be dreaming," he exclaimed. "No, you are not dreaming," the fish replied. "I am a magical fish and I need your help. If you let me go, I promise to repay your kindness when I grow bigger." Jack thought for a moment. He was a kind and gentle man who respected nature. He knew that keeping the tiny fish wouldn't give him much food or money. "You are very small," Jack said. Catching you today would not be fair. I will let you go, little fish." The fish smiled. "Thank you, kind fisherman. You will not regret your decision. One day, I will return and repay your kindness." Jack carefully placed the little fish back into the water. He watched as it swam away, its golden scales sparkling under the sun. Jack felt good about his decision. It's always better to be kind, he thought. Who knows? Maybe this little fish really will repay me one day. When Jack returned home that evening, his wife, Mary, and their children, Lily and Tom, asked about his day. "I caught a magical fish today," Jack said with a smile. "But it was very small, so I let it go." Lily's eyes widened. "A magical fish? What did it say?" "It promised to repay me when it grows bigger," Jack replied. Tom laughed. "That sounds like a fairy tale. But I think you did the right thing, Papa." Mary nodded. "Kindness is always the best choice," she said. That night, as the family sat around the table for dinner, they talked about the little fish. Jack felt proud of his decision to show kindness, even if he wasn't sure the fish would keep its promise. Outside, the sea sparkled under the moonlight, and Jack wondered if the little fish was safe and happy in the vast ocean. This day taught Jack and his family an important lesson. Sometimes, being kind and letting go is more valuable than holding on to something small. As Jack drifted off to sleep that night, he dreamed of the little golden fish, swimming freely in the sea. He didn't know what the future would bring, but he felt a sense of peace. The little fish's words stayed in Jack's mind. "I will repay your kindness." Even though Jack wasn't expecting anything in return, he couldn't help but feel hopeful. Kindness always comes back to us in surprising ways, he thought. And so, Jack waited, not for a reward, but for the joy of knowing he had done the right thing. Chapter 4: A Difficult Decision. Jack, the fisherman, held the little golden fish in his hands. Its shimmering scales sparkled in the sunlight, and its soft voice still echoed in his ears. "Please let me go, and I will repay your kindness one day." Jack looked at the fish closely. It was small, barely enough to feed one person. Should I listen to this fish? He wondered. He looked at his empty net. The day had been long, and he hadn't caught anything else. His family was at home, waiting for him to bring fish for dinner. His wife, Mary, always worked hard to prepare their meals, and his children, Lily and Tom, would be hungry. Jack sighed. If I let this fish go, what will I take home to my family? They trust me to bring food, he thought. But then he remembered the fish's promise. What if this little fish is truly magical? What if it can help us in ways I cannot imagine? Jack felt torn. He loved his family and wanted to provide for them, but he also believed in kindness and giving others a chance. The little fish spoke again. "Please, kind fisherman, believe me. I am too small to help you now, but if you let me go, I will find a way to repay your kindness. You won't regret it." Jack hesitated. The fish's voice was gentle and sincere. It didn't sound like it was lying. "Why should I trust you?" Jack asked. "Many would laugh at me for letting go of a catch, even a small one like you. Because kindness always brings rewards," the fish replied. "Maybe not today, but soon. You will see the good in your choice." Jack thought about the sea, which had always been kind to him. It gave him fish when he needed them and provided for his family. He remembered how his father had taught him to respect nature. "Take only what you need, Jack," his father used to say. "And always give back to the sea when you can." The little fish reminded Jack of those lessons. Maybe letting this fish go is my way of giving back, he thought. After a long pause, Jack took a deep breath. He made his choice. "I will let you go, little fish," Jack said softly. "But I hope you keep your promise and bring me good fortune." With care, Jack lowered the fish into the water. Its golden scales shimmered as it swam away. "Thank you, kind fisherman," the fish called out. "You will not regret your decision." As Jack rowed back to shore, he felt both hopeful and uncertain. He had made a choice from his heart, but he worried about what Mary and the children would say when he returned home empty-handed. What if I made a mistake? Jack wondered. What if my family doesn't understand? When Jack reached home, Mary greeted him at the door. She noticed the empty basket and asked, "Did you have a bad day at sea?" Jack told her everything about the little golden fish and its promise. Mary listened carefully. "You always do what you believe is right," she said with a smile. "Maybe this fish will bring us luck. And even if it doesn't, we will manage as we always do." Lily and Tom were curious about the talking fish. "Papa, do you think it will really come back?" Lily asked. "I don't know," Jack replied honestly. "But sometimes it's better to believe in kindness and hope." That night, the family had a simple dinner. Mary made soup with vegetables from their garden, and they all sat together around the table. Even though there was no fish, the family felt warm and happy. They talked and laughed, and Jack realized that love and togetherness were more important than anything else. Before going to bed, Jack stepped outside and looked at the sea. The moonlight reflected on the calm water, and he thought about the little fish swimming somewhere out there. "I hope I made the right decision," he said to himself. "But even if the fish doesn't return, I'm glad I chose kindness over greed." Jack felt a sense of peace. He knew that he had done what his heart told him was right. As Jack went back inside, he thought about the challenges of being a fisherman. Every day brought uncertainty, but it also brought hope and opportunities to do good. Jack decided to trust in the sea and in the promise of the little fish. "Tomorrow is another day," he said with a smile. "And who knows what surprises it might bring." And so, Jack fell asleep, dreaming of the golden fish and the mysteries of the vast ocean. Chapter 5, Home with the Catch. Jack, the kind fisherman, sat in his small boat. The little golden fish wiggled in his net, its bright scales shining in the sun. Jack looked at the fish. Its small voice still echoed in his mind. "Please let me go, and I will repay your kindness." But Jack was tired. He had been on the sea all day with no other catch. His family was waiting for food, and his empty basket reminded him of his responsibility. "I need to think about my family," Jack thought. "They need me to provide for them." After a long pause, Jack made his decision. "I will keep the fish," he said to himself. "Maybe it is small, but it will still help feed my family tonight." Jack began rowing back to the shore. The sea was calm, and the sky was painted with the warm colors of the setting sun. As he got closer to the village, he thought about how happy his children would be to see him. Lily and Tom always greeted him with hugs when he returned from fishing. The little fish stayed quiet in the basket, resting on the soft seaweed. It no longer begged Jack to let it go, as if it understood his choice. When Jack reached the shore, Lily and Tom ran to meet him. "Papa, did you catch anything today?" Lily asked eagerly. "Yes," Jack replied with a tired smile. He showed them the small golden fish. "It's so shiny," Tom exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. "I've never seen a fish like this before." Jack's wife, Mary, came out of the house. She saw the small fish and gave Jack a kind smile. "It's not much, but it will be enough for us," she said. Mary began preparing the fish for dinner. She worked carefully, making sure nothing went to waste. Jack watched her and felt a mix of emotions. He was glad to have something to bring home, but he also remembered the fish's promise. What if the fish was truly magical? Jack wondered, did I make the right choice? That evening, the family sat around their small wooden table. The golden fish had been cooked and served with bread and vegetables from their garden. "It smells delicious," Tom said, clapping his hands. As they ate, the family talked and laughed. Jack felt happy to see his children enjoying the meal. "Even a small fish can bring big joy," Mary said, smiling at Jack. After dinner, Jack stepped outside to look at the sea. The moon was high in the sky, and the waves sparkled under its light. Jack thought about the little fish again. "Did I do the right thing?" he asked himself. He remembered his father's words, "Always respect the sea, Jack. It gives us life, but we must give back to it too." Jack sighed. Maybe I was too focused on today and didn't think enough about tomorrow, he thought. As Jack stood there, a cool breeze blew from the sea. It carried a strange, gentle sound, almost like a whisper. Jack listened closely, but he couldn't understand the words. Is it the sea speaking to me? He wondered. He felt a mix of peace and worry. The sea had always been his friend, but now it felt like it was reminding him of something important. Jack decided that he would go fishing again early the next morning. The sea is full of surprises, he thought. Maybe tomorrow will bring something better. He went back inside and kissed his children goodnight. Lily and Tom were already dreaming of shiny fish and big adventures. As Jack lay in bed, he made a promise to himself. "I will work harder and trust the sea," he said. "And I will always try to make the best decisions for my family." The house grew quiet as the family slept. Outside, the waves lapped gently against the shore, carrying the secrets of the deep. Though the little golden fish was gone, its memory stayed with Jack. He knew that life as a fisherman was full of choices, and each one carried its own lessons. As the stars twinkled above, Jack dreamed of a better tomorrow, guided by the wisdom of the sea and the love of his family. Chapter 6: A Lesson for Life. The sun rose gently over the small village by the sea. Jack, the fisherman, woke up early as usual. The memories of the little golden fish still lingered in his mind. Did I make the right choice? Jack wondered as he prepared his fishing gear. He knew the fish had made a big promise, but he also knew that promises can be uncertain. Jack walked to the shore, the cool morning breeze brushing against his face. The sea looked calm and inviting. As he rowed his small boat, he thought about the lessons he had learned from the little fish. "The sea gives me what I need," he thought. "It may not always be much, but it is enough for today." As Jack cast his net into the water, an old friend, another fisherman named Ben, rowed his boat nearby. "Good morning, Jack," Ben called out. "How was your catch yesterday?" Jack told Ben about the little golden fish. He explained how the fish had begged to be let go and promised something greater in the future. "What did you do?" Ben asked curiously. "I kept the fish," Jack replied. "It was small, but it fed my family last night." Ben nodded. "You made the right choice, my friend. Small blessings today are better than uncertain hopes for tomorrow." Jack felt a sense of gratitude. He understood that life is about appreciating what we have and making the most of it. When Jack returned home, his children, Lily and Tom, ran to greet him. "Papa, did you catch anything today?" Lily asked eagerly. "Yes, I did," Jack said with a smile, showing them the fish. "These will make a good dinner for us tonight." As they helped him carry the fish inside, Jack shared the story of the little golden fish with his family. "Sometimes we are tempted to wait for something bigger or better," Jack said. "But it is important to value what we have now." Lily looked thoughtful. "So, the little fish was like a small gift, right?" she asked. "Yes," Jack said. "Even small gifts can bring us joy and help us when we need them." Tom nodded. "I will remember that, Papa. A little now is better than a big promise later." Jack smiled, proud of his children for understanding the lesson. That evening, the family sat together by the fire after dinner. The room was warm and cozy, filled with the sounds of laughter and conversation. Jack felt content. He knew that life was not about waiting for big moments or promises. It was about finding happiness in the small, everyday blessings. "The sea has taught me many things," Jack thought. "It has taught me to be patient, to work hard, and to value what I have." In the days that followed, Jack shared his story with other fishermen in the village. "The little fish taught me an important lesson," Jack told them. "Opportunities, no matter how small, should not be ignored. They can bring us great joy and help us when we need it most." The fishermen listened carefully and nodded in agreement. They, too, understood the value of small gains and the importance of appreciating what life offers. As time passed, Jack continued to fish every day. He never forgot the little golden fish and the lesson it had taught him. His family remained happy and grateful, always finding joy in the simple moments they shared. And though Jack never saw another magical fish, he knew that the true magic was in living a life full of gratitude, love, and respect for the sea. Do not let go of small opportunities. A little gain today is better than a big promise tomorrow. Jack's story reminds us to appreciate the small blessings in life and to trust that they will bring us happiness and fulfillment.